in this HUD, you see Bill Gates' pie chart of the stock market, all kinds of different, don't you? Look at it. Look at it. I mean, it's all kind of crazy. Anyways, give him marshmallow these days. Eating McDonald's, I see, huh? Coming out the back end all hot. If we're going to use that to say 33 and a third inside here, and what is 33 and a third and 33 and a third on a stretch here, it's still the pie chart under that angle. And the neutron, proton, and electron in that position give us something in that line here, time first, or the photon first. Best speed run, 1 degree curvature difference at frame rates on uh, standing desk. The cops through was locked out. I don't know. Whatever. They're making a desk and putting it in there for what the hoodoo voodoo is here on what you do. So now that we got that covered, we should be able to say, do they? Yes, easy to check, easy to look up. Those situations fall into these criteria. Nobody's getting out of it. It's as much energy and a byproduct, lead and galena for silver, to deal with the time topology the same way because they work that way, at least by frame rates on buses. They may not be directly like that. It's more of a trig problem we'll get into here in a minute. These three things are compressed in such a way that we're doing it different. It's Huygens theory and Compton, scatter, and free wave particle. They're all the same stuff. I mean, if you do line them up and compress them in the correct way, they will fit. The only difference is I'm not doing transparent paper or summing them all down to 1 NTF to put on a chessboard as a pawn or a king or some other system right now. The value is arbitrary, at least based on that value, given which hack frame rates I'm setting in coordinates with each other here, obviously moving at a pretty fast clip, jumping through that model. But again, you would still say your first round, your first action of any run, any percent run to time out the limit is your first index. And the first time you did it, it took 30 minutes. And then the second time you did it took 20 minutes. Okay, the third time you did it, it took 25 minutes, and then you started to get to 15, and then it hanged in the 15s for a while, right? Well, what were you doing that made the consistency of just the 15? And you go about peering that out, and you find out, well, there was actually probably a lot more going on in there in terms of you're going to give me some double shell jump or backwards frame jump off of this or off every one, but it might not be congruent in terms of why that variant doesn't mathematically sound, because it takes a physical order level of photon for it to get up there, and that frame rate's not going to adjust unless you can catch it somewhere on this clip. Put that block cache in that position to check the IPO to make sure the timeline on the real world line or global time is still congruent to that local line as well. And you would say as long as that does, it's E to negative E on Feynman diagrams, or 0 to 1 congruent to the value, what is a timeline, the fastest index 0 to 1 with a trig that could be a very specific time index, a number, a location, x, y, spin and mass and spin, or mass and velocity, potential and momentum. There we go.